Hello, LU Vikings football friends, fans, and families, and welcome to yet another in our installment of our Goal to Go sessions brought to you by the Lawrence University Vikings Gridiron Club. And tonight we continue with our theme of hosting seniors on our football program. And I'm pleased to introduce everyone tonight to one of the senior leaders, defensive back, number 25 from Happy Valley, Oregon, Matthew Cramblit. We'll dive into his decision to come to Lawrence, his role in the defensive backfield, and his aspirations for the future. And also, as a special bonus for tonight, since Halloween is upon us, this is actually being recorded on October 30th, we're going to get into some speed round questions at the end that mainly revolve around Halloween. So, Matthew, welcome to Goal to Go. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
As I've said, we've been featuring seniors making our way through. And with you, Matthew, I think as I look over the roster, I believe you may be one of the only, or perhaps the only, student athlete on the football program from the state of Oregon.
One of two,
One of
actually.
two. So that's a significant decision to come to Lawrence, moving all the way from Oregon to Appleton, Wisconsin. So can you walk us through that decision process?
Initially, I wasn't planning on going far east at all. I was trying to stay around the West Coast. I hadn't even heard of Lawrence, actually, until the beginning of my senior year of high school. And then one of the coaches from the last staff reached out to me probably around October of my senior year. And so I looked into it. I came on a visit in the winter, and I just found that it was a really inviting place. I enjoyed the prospect of um, my role on the team could potentially be and the opportunities that came with it. And ultimately, academically, uh, this place seemed to fit what I was looking for, but the distance was definitely the hardest part.
Is there any one thing or maybe a couple of things that you could point to that were more likely than not the deciding factors for you?
From the football side of things, um, there were two pieces. Um, the coaches just made me feel really seen and like I could have a lot of room to grow here. And the second part is the opportunity because I got more reps than a lot of people get early on in their college careers. And then on the academic side of things, it felt like a better environment for me here.
Well, those are both significant considerations. Is
Yeah.
that you're going to find yourself not being that far from the field under any circumstances, and that's an important thing, I think, valuable thing for many of the players on this team is they know they're going to be wanted, they know they're going to be deployed if they put forth the effort. But Matthew, you're sadly for us and sadly for you, I think, the your time with the Lawrence University football program was coming to an end. It's only a few weeks away at this point. The season comes and goes so quickly. Now,
Yeah.
as you're wrapping up your football career, let me ask you kind of a heavy question here, but what do you think it truly means to you to be a Lawrence Viking?
I think there's two parts to what it means to be a Viking. I think for me, the main part is being part of an uncommon story. It's the other part of it is sort of a partial blueprint for life because it's about how persistent are you going to be, how much effort are you going to continue to put in, even if you don't see the perfect outcome yet. How willing are you to believe that it can be there if you execute on the opportunities that you're presented with? So I think it's made me a better person and being around uh, these players, my teammates for the last 3.5 years, the people that have stuck around, they've made me better. So being a Viking, if you stick with it, you're going to get a great blueprint for life and you're going to get to be a part of an uncommon story. This is the type of story that a lot of people get on the bandwagon of after they start seeing a bunch of the success, but not a lot of people hang out before that happens. But it's sort of an underdog story. Bringing that to fruition is a pretty rewarding thing.
So we'll get to the specifics of game day and game play in particular. You are, as I've mentioned, a senior DB. You play a critical role in the secondary rotation. So, what does your specific job entail on game day?
Ensuring I know my job and making sure the DB room knows their job as well. So if I'm on the field, obviously I gotta execute and coordinate the rest of the defense in front of me. And then if I'm off the field, just gotta pay attention and be ready and look and see if there's anything I can point out that'll be helpful to other people. Um, and I think the most critical piece is what I would call disciplined communication, because you have to strike a fine line between giving everybody as much information as they need, but not more than you need to give. But especially at this point, we trust each other enough to know that I don't have to take care of anybody else. Just communicate what I need to be communicating, and the rest will take care of itself.
How do you ensure that your energy and execution remain consistent regardless of how many snaps you get?
I hold myself to a high standard, and I've always felt like I'm sort of playing catch up to the current level that I'm surrounded by from everybody else. So I want to take advantage of every opportunity I get to do something spectacular, but at the very least, just do my job.
The next question I have for you really goes to something you've alluded to earlier in our conversation, which is what the crucial skills are associated with defensive back play. With that in mind, what is the most crucial skill a defensive back needs beyond speed and athleticism when you're playing defensive back? Would you say it's communication? Is it discipline? Or would you say it's something else?
It's the disciplined communication that I referenced, but it's also being able to be forward thinking. So if you've made a mistake or if you see other people make a mistake, you can't dwell on it. It's being forward thinking as well as being a disciplined communicator, not too much and not too little.
Matthew, I've looked over your bio. I think we've talked about this some in the past. You are a performing arts major or a film major?
I'm a film studies major.
Film studies. So that indicates to me that you have an interest in the performing arts. And
Mhm.
so, with that, what drew you to this field and how have you pursued it during your time at Lawrence?
On the film side of things, I think it mostly started with acting in school as early as first grade. And I've pretty much been acting on stage since then. Um, if I could fit my passions on one hand, it's football, film, music, and the environment. So majoring in film studies, I've gotten to work behind the camera, act in front of the camera. There's the acting piece right there, and then writing. Within film, I'd say it's acting, directing, and writing are the interests within that medium and the industry overall. So doing the major, those are the classes that I've done the most of, and they've taken me through film history, through editing, screenwriting, set design, and all that stuff. Um, and I initially came in wanting to be a double major with film studies and environmental studies, but the more I thought about it, I think I was just doing it for the sake of saying I was a double major, but it didn't really mean much more than that. So I ended up going with a minor in environmental studies, which I have completed. Um, and that introduced me to some fantastic professors here, like Professor Jason Brozak in international relations and foreign policy. And I found those things pretty interesting in regards to um, the environmental perspective. Coming in, I had planned to get back into theater maybe my junior year, and ultimately that's how it happened. I can't do it in the fall with football because I just couldn't give the time to either one. So I was offered a role in one of the senior capstone productions, and that was really rewarding and a fantastic opportunity to get reintroduced into that environment. And it's a really nice theater environment here. And then I auditioned last spring term, and I got one of the leading roles in that. So that was very cool. And I've been taking voice lessons here since winter term of my sophomore year, and all except for one term, I've been doing that ever since. So I've been able to touch on the music piece with voice. I've been able to touch on acting in theater and in front of the camera, film studies major, obviously, environmental studies minor. So I've been able to be well-rounded in my interests here.
Curious to know what your post-graduation plans are and if they continue to involve your interest in the performing arts.
From the film side of things, I will be wrapping up my senior short film in June, and after that, I intend to send it out to as many film festivals as I can over the next calendar year from next June. So that'll take me all the way until 2027, and assuming obviously that it gets accepted into film festivals, I expect I'll be at a few and making connections there. I'll be jumping into acting probably right out of graduation here through next summer. I can't say what role I'm going to land because a good chunk of that's out of my control, but I see acting as my way in to the film industry before other things. So that's where I'll be pushing in that direction. And then I would like to continue to better myself in the football area. So come next winter, I'd like to get myself into some tryouts for some of the indoor football team, and I want to see what more I can give to football. And as far as I know, I may be back here next fall to participate in a play, not as a student, just to do that acting piece. And Coach Gonzaga has been kind enough to invite me to be around the team and maybe assist in some coaching. So I'll still be involved in football. And then through the summer, I'll pursue other business development. So that's what I've got planned for the next year, year and a half.
So, are there any potential recruits for Lawrence football on here that might also be thinking about some future career in the performing arts field? Bear in mind that Matthew may still be around the program even after he graduates at the end of this spring term coming up in 2026. It's an ambitious schedule and a lot going on there. I wanted to follow up with a question about your short film product that you're putting out. How long is a short film that you're working on, do you expect it would be?
Yeah, a short film in the short film category that gets accepted to film festivals is under 20 minutes. And obviously, they have to fit as many as they can into a set amount of time. So the shorter they are, upwards of 10 to 12 minutes maximum is probably the sweet spot. So I can't guarantee the set time right now, but I'm aiming for about the 12-minute mark for my short film.
Okay, well, I'm dying to know if you could share it with us. Do you have any sort of sneak preview you could tell us about what it would probably be, this short film of yours?
I could give you a rough log line that it's a character and family drama in which a the main character has to grapple with past trauma from a lost family member, while he's also dealing with the potential loss of another family member. And while a lot of people have the trauma response of fight or flight, a lot of people don't actually talk about another response, and that's freezing. So the act of inaction and feeling stagnant, like you can't take action. And so that's where the main character is stuck in. Is he like afraid to realize the reality of the present that he's going to lose someone else? And is he going to take advantage of the time he has left? Or is he going to remain frozen because he's stuck in what he lost previously?
Sounds like a very thoughtful subject. I look forward to that. So I'm gonna look to see if you have maybe a favorite or fond memory from the time you've spent here with the football program. Is there a particular moment, whether it's a game, a practice, team trip, or something like maybe a locker room joke or something from your time with Lawrence that you'll always remember?
There's a lot of moments that come to mind. I'm hoping that if I'm asked a question like this a few weeks from now, I'll have several more great ones to talk about. Um,
I like that.
yeah, I'll highlight a moment from this season that stands out, and I think it really symbolizes what we strive to be here at Lawrence, and that's a play that was made when we were playing Cornell College around week 3 or 4 here at home. The Cornell quarterback got out of the pocket, and Rex Pearson chased him down, got the strip sack, and the ball was rolling around, and Tucker Holmes managed to get on it, and we got a turnover right there. And I think it really illustrates what we strive to do because, yeah, the quarterback got out of the pocket, so it's already not quite what we want, but we still chase him down. And not only do we chase him down, but we get the strip sack. So when we put the effort in and we go as hard as we can, even greater things can come from it than expected. And we all know that Tucker was trying to pick up the ball and scoop and score. He wasn't able to do that, but he still got on the ball. So even though that didn't go quite the way he wanted to, we still got the ball. And so the perseverance and the relentlessness, I think, highlights the best of what we have to offer. And putting that together for 4 quarters is what's going to get us to where we need to be.
I remember that play vividly. It seemed like it took Tuck an eternity to get back to the ball. He kind of had to change direction on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but that is a good memory for sure. Well, Matthew, as I threatened I would do at the beginning of this recording, we're taking a little bit of a deviation from standard operating procedure as far as the Q&A is concerned. We're going to shift it up because this is essentially the Halloween edition for Goal to Go sessions. So I've got a few rapid fire questions for you. I'm just going to throw them out there and let's see what kind of answers you can give. You ready to go?
For sure.
All right. Growing up, what was your favorite all-time Halloween costume?
I'll say a custom-made Captain America World War II costume that my mom and I put together based off his very first costume before he got the fancy costume in the first movie. So we went out and got all the pieces and the parts, sewed it together, and got some old army gear, and that was a pretty rewarding costume that we made there.
Spoken like a true theater guy, I gotta say. So let's get to the next Halloween question. What was your favorite trick or treat candy to find in your bucket as a kid?
I will say either Jolly Ranchers or Laffy Taffy.
Okay. Any particular flavors of those, though? Probably not the banana, I'm gonna guess.
Mm, no, something berry oriented probably.
Got it. Got it. So let's keep with the theme. What's your favorite horror movie and why?
Um, I'm not really a horror movie guy, but I'll take a slight uh detour right off that into the thriller space and say A Quiet Place, uh, or A Quiet Place 2, either one.
Okay. Contemporary horror films.
Yeah.
So this one isn't necessarily Halloween related, but given your penchant for films and for acting, what character from a movie or a play would you most like to cover to play?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a bit lately. I think in the superhero space, in DC, um, Robin or Nightwing, especially with my martial arts background, I feel like I'd be pretty qualified for that. I don't know if I have the physical stature for Batman, but Robin or Nightwing would be cool. And I'd always be down to play a Spider-Man over in Marvel.
All right.
Yeah.
And the last one here, looking ahead, because I suspect you're going to be taking part in Halloween festivities in the years to come. What Halloween costume would you most want to put on for an upcoming Halloween party?
I think a Daredevil costume would be a pretty cool one that I haven't ventured into before, the Marvel character.
All right.
Yeah.
There you have it. There you have it, folks. So that's the rapid fire for Matthew Cramblit. Matthew, thank you so much. I know you guys are getting ready for the football game this upcoming Saturday. It's great to see you guys back on track for that. So we're looking forward to it down at Lake Forest. Again, we appreciate your time during a busy schedule. So best wishes to you. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. We look forward to capitalizing on the final opportunities we get. Go Vikings.
Go Vikings, indeed. Speaking of which, folks, if you're interested in any way in helping out with the LU Vikings Gridiron Club, You can find us online. We have a web page at the LU Athletics website. We're under football there. We'd always love to have your help, so sign up if you'd like. Beyond that, we wish you a good night. Go Vikings. Take care.